Welcome to another episode of Chris McBride Reacts. Before we get started, go ahead and smash that like button, smash that notification bell, and hit that subscribe button. I got the HBO special going on, so if you can help a brother out by clicking that subscribe button so I can reach my goal of over 1,000 subscribers immediately, I'll give you 1 second to help a brother out. I appreciate you. All right, man. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get into it.
If you want to build self-discipline, you'd do well to listen to the words of Marcus Aurelius. He was the Emperor of Rome from 161 to 180 AD and is considered as the last of the five good emperors. During his rule, Aurelius found the time to construct a series of autobiographical writings now known as the Meditations. In these writings, the Roman emperor offered a number of key insights on how to build self-discipline. Here are 10 of the most important of those insights for self-discipline from the writings of Marcus Aurelius. Number 1. Self-discipline starts with finding your purpose. Marcus Aurelius says, "I have to go to work as a human being. What do I have to complain of if I'm going to do what I was born for? The things I was brought into this world to do? Or is this what I was created for? To huddle under the blankets and stay warm?" Marcus Aurelius believed that we each have a purpose, something that we were created for. It's our duty to carry out that purpose because it's purpose that gets you out of bed each morning. If you have a clear understanding of your goals and how your task fits within them, you're much more likely to complete those goals. For example,
No, that's facts because I'm a firm believer that purpose should reign above everything else, especially for a man. We have to make sure that we're following purpose. God gave every person an assignment, even when, you know what I'm saying? So as y'all know, I do coaching for men. I help men with their sexual urges. I help men processing their unresolved trauma. I help men get out of depression. Help men with grieving. I help men with anger issues. I help men with a plethora of things. And a lot of one of the main things that we get to work on first is what is their purpose, what is their assignment from God. And the interesting thing is you can always tell when a man's life is out of whack because he is not in tune with his purpose. He is not living his life. He is not walking in purpose on purpose. Every person, because even when we think about the Bible, I love Miles Monroe because he broke this down where every person, every man, God gave man an assignment. Then God gave man a woman because he said it's not good for that man to work alone. So men have to be okay with working, finding their purpose. And again, we got to separate working like job versus working with is fulfilling your purpose. My purpose, I personally feel, is to educate, heal, and empower. So a lot of my videos stem around educating, healing, and empowering. Now also I do reaction videos that got a little, humor in it as well, but that's putting the medicine inside the food. So we all got to have a purpose. So I'm a firm believer. Like right now, it's like 3 o'clock in the morning here. Woke up, no alarm clock needed, straight going into my purpose. So anytime a man's life is out of whack, you can always tie it back to not having purpose. So I find it interesting that that's the number one thing that he says in order to increase your discipline. Let's keep going.
you have a flat tire and need to change it. Your purpose is clear. Change the tire as quickly as possible so you can get on your way. You're going to do that task no matter how tired you feel. The biggest source of self-discipline is to have a reason to do the task. If you don't know what to do, just start. If you want to be a writer, write every day. If you want to be an artist, draw and create every day. Anything you want to do, you don't need any more motivation or research or advice. You just start practicing something you're interested in and tackle every day as it comes because it's your purpose that will give you an internal desire, drive, and motivation to propel you forward towards your goal. Self-discipline is about finding compelling reasons to do something, then committing yourself to see that task or activity through to the very end. Number 2. Count on yourself. According to Marcus Aurelius, you should turn your desire to stone, quench your appetites, keep your mind centered on itself. After you have a solid purpose, it's time.
No, facts. I remember one of Big Sean's songs. I think it was actually a DJ Khaled song that Big Sean featured on, but he said, no, it was actually a Big Sean song where he said, "I ain't got no enemies. I put all my energy back into the inner me." Like, I ain't got no enemies. I put all my energy back into the inner me where it needs to be. That's basically saying what he just said. Keeping the attention focused on itself. Keeping your energy focused on you as opposed to focusing on external circumstances, being able to concentrate or being able to count on yourself because your desire is so strong for what you're doing, for fulfilling your purpose, that it keeps you on your task. Because many times what happens is our desire isn't strong enough for our big goals in life. So a lot of times we spend our life just concentrating and getting these little goals, and then we get mad because we have no fulfillment, because the fulfillment is tied to a big goal. But remember that we can get anything we want in life. We just can't get everything. So it's all about traces and trade-offs, trading and choices and trade-offs. So you got to make sure that what you're going after is a bigger desire or something that's going to be worthwhile in the end. And then you're not constantly just going after these smaller goals that's going to give you a little bit of pleasure. So you definitely want to count on yourself. And to me, part of that means self-denial and making sure that what you're after is really the main thing or the most important thing.
Now to build a practical plan of action to help you accomplish your goal. You shouldn't just commit to your goals, but commit to all the little actions that you'll take along the way in pursuit of those goals. We must be fully committed to doing whatever it takes to get the job done, no matter what challenges get in the way. Self-discipline is the ability to get yourself to take action, to do what you need to do regardless of your physical, mental, or emotional state. Everything you want in your life, everything you want to have, be, and do depends on your ability to get yourself to take the necessary actions to achieve your goals, whether you feel like it or not.
Facts.
You can start with forming an effective plan of action that...
That's true, because especially as men, we can't really, now granted, you know what I'm saying, modern society made everything about feelings, but still technically a man can't get caught up in how we feel about things. You got to do it regardless of what you feel like doing. It doesn't matter what you feel like doing. It just matters what got to get done. Really, feelings are irrelevant, to be 100% honest. You know what I'm saying? Especially with how they make feelings in this society. Now, granted, if we use feelings basically how God designed it, which is an indication that we need to do something, then that's different. You know what I'm saying? You get angry, that's a sign that somebody has violated your values. You get disappointed, that lets you know that one of your expectations was not met. So we have emotions are really just signals or indications to us that we need to do a certain behavior, or we need to stop doing certain behaviors, or we need to shift some things up, or we need to reevaluate, or all the different emotions have different reasons and they signal different messages to the body. So if we were looking at it like that and only looked at the feelings as an indication to make a proper change, that'd be different. But that's not what we do in this society. We do in this society of, oh, I don't feel like doing this. Oh, I'm tired. Oh, I'm sad. Oh, my big toe hurts. Oh, this, oh, this, oh, this. So I can't do what I need to get done. And therefore, everything crumbles and everything falls apart. That's why he said the number one thing should be lead with your purpose, because a lot of times your purpose can pull you as opposed to you having to feel like you got to push yourself to do something. Purpose pulls you. So therefore, there's no willpower attached to that. But when you're trying to get yourself to do something, that's when you're willing yourself to do something. You don't want to do that. Willpower is a limited resource, man. It's like gas in a car. Once you fill up your tank, regardless of how big the tank is, it's only a certain amount of places you can go. So you want to make sure that you're going to, that you're only using your willpower for things that you're trying to change in the immediate moment. That's really what willpower is for, is to gain control over our imagination and hold that image in our conscious mind for a certain period of time so it can drop into the subconscious. Because remember, once it drops into the subconscious, that's our autopilot. Then that's when we're pulled to do certain things, as opposed to pushing ourselves to do certain things. So hopefully that all makes sense. Leave a comment, let me know whether that did. You know what I'm saying? I know that was a visionary stream of consciousness, as Kanye would say, but in my mind it made sense.
It's comprised of a deadline for accomplishing your goal. It must also be built on the foundation of mini milestones that break your goal down into manageable chunks. Mini milestones will ensure that you're working towards your desired outcome in small pieces and time blocks. This tactic puts you in the driver's seat. It gives you a sense of control over the tasks and projects that you're working on. What you're ultimately trying to avoid is succumbing to being overwhelmed. Overwhelming can quickly digress to procrastination, and procrastination can subsequently lead to stagnation. And of course, where there's stagnation, self-discipline cannot exist. Number 3. Show up every day. Marcus Aurelius says, "You must build up your life action by action, and be content if each one achieves its goal as far as possible, and no one can keep you from this." Even after having a solid purpose and a practical plan, 95% of us fail to achieve our goals. We fail because we fail to be consistent. We need to show up every day and put in the work. The simple act of showing up and immersing yourself in your craft does wonders for mental endurance.
No, that's facts, man. Even when I think about, like, I was just put out a video yesterday. I don't think I put it out on YouTube. I didn't. I just put it out on Facebook and Instagram. But in it, it was talking about how I like to look at my whole life as like a book, and each book got different chapter titles, and I like to look at each year as a different chapter. And this year, 2022, it just started. My chapter is going to be consistency. Keep the chain going. So it's 365 days in a year. I look at that as 365 chain links that keep a whole chain going, and don't break the chain. So every single day I need to be doing what I need to do. I need to keep my morning routine going. Do not break the chain. Don't get out of the good habits that I know I need to have. Kenneth Cole says success is less about getting ourselves to do the things that we know we should, and more about us keeping ourselves from doing the things that we know we shouldn't. So I agree completely with that. You got to have consistency. You got to keep going.
You build focus and come to terms with the arduous process that it takes to achieve anything great. You have to put in countless hours of work before you reap any of the benefits. Self-discipline is nothing more but the habit of consistency, finding the motivation to do something again and again until you do it on autopilot and start seeing results.
Facts.
So even if you fail once, for example, if you didn't exercise when you know you should have, this doesn't define your character. Your ability to keep going is what molds you into a disciplined and strong person.
Facts.
A bad day doesn't have to become a bad week. A bad week doesn't have to become a bad year. The moment you wake up, remember that new day is a new life, and move forward by opening your eyes and focusing on what's in front of you, which is life itself. Number 4. Practice voluntary hardship. In the words of Marcus Aurelius, we should discipline ourselves in small things, and from there progress to things of greater value. If you have a headache, practice not cursing. Don't curse every time you have an earache, and I'm not saying that you can't complain, only don't complain with your whole being. Voluntary hardship is one of the ways we can build our self-discipline. Voluntary hardship means constantly testing ourselves, and by making life routinely uncomfortable in some way, we're hardening ourselves for the day we need to live it for real.
No, that's facts. That's why I'm taking like morning showers or getting myself to do things that I don't really feel like doing. But that's what it basically builds a discipline. I remember even when I was pledging, we would always say, be strong, for we're not here to play, dream, or drift. We have hard work to do and loads to lift. Shun not to struggle, for it is God's gift. Be strong, which is basically, you know what I'm saying, taking on that hardship and not complaining about life. You know what I'm saying? Recognizing out of the dark that covers me, black as a pit from pole to pole. I think whatever God may be for my unconquerable soul. In the fell clutch of circumstance, I have now winced, now crowd aloud. Under the bludgeonness of chance, my head is bloody but unbowed. My head is bloody but unbowed. Basically the exact same thing. You practice involuntary hardship, which is regardless of how tough life is, my head is up. My head ain't down. I'm not complaining. I'm not being weak. We're not here to play, dream, or drip. We have hard work to do and loads to lift. Shun not to struggle. That's the voluntary hardship. Don't complain about the struggle. Bring on the struggle. It's the struggle that actually makes you great.
Voluntary hardship might be skipping a meal and going hungry for a night, having a cold shower,
Fasting.
not smoking, sleeping on the floor, leaving your jacket at home when you know it's cold and raining out, or donating half of your clothes to charity. You could choose to go without social media for a few days or throw your smartphone in the drawer. Do it often enough, and you begin to understand what scarcity and hardship feels like, and that you can live with both if needed. Number 5. Practice dichotomy of control. Marcus Aurelius says, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." Being distressed, being bothered by small things, instantly is terrible for discipline. You have a goal, you're working, and then
Facts. They said you can always measure the strength of a man by the size of the problems that get him down. That's facts. And we all have different thinking patterns that can really control whether we're a big person or a small person. And many of us have thinking patterns that make us think about the worst things and always complain, as opposed to, you know what I'm saying, having the mindset. One of my favorite quotes is small things to a giant. Anytime somebody bring up something that's a little crazy and I'm like, man, small things to a giant, you get it done. Small things to a giant, you got it. You always want to, instead of thinking, oh my God, why me, think, well, you know what I'm saying, why not me? Instead of thinking, you know what I'm saying, I can't think, you know what I'm saying, well, how can I? It's all about just a pattern of thought. But if we always are using our pattern of thought to have distressful thoughts, to feel distress, that's going to make us feel like, you know what I'm saying, we won't be able to accomplish our
Thoughts
goals.
and distress about something external, meaning it's out of your control, derails you. The best thing you can do in these circumstances is to apply Epictetus's dichotomy of control. Reinforce to yourself what's within your control and what is out of your control. If you embrace what's out of your control and accept it, you'll experience tranquility. Refer to the following wording next time you're distressed and distracted. Do you have a problem in your life? No? Then don't worry. Yes? Can you do something about it? Yes? Then don't worry. No? Then don't worry.
No, that's facts. My dad would always be like, you know what I'm saying, control the things you can control and don't worry about the rest. I'm going to leave a link for the description. I'm going to leave a link in the description for that particular video so y'all can go check out the rest of it. We watched, you know what I'm saying, about 6 out of the 10 principles. So I would definitely love to hear y'all thoughts on the whole 10, but definitely on the 6 that we went over on this particular video. You know, my favorite one is the first one, which is always having a purpose. And really the last one that we just went over, which is, you know what I'm saying, not letting the external affect the internal. You know, being able to really control what's going on inside your particular mind as opposed to letting it be controlled by outside events. So I thought that video was pretty dope, man. Again, leave a comment. Let me know your thoughts. Let me know your takeaways. If you haven't already participated in the HBO special, help a brother out by clicking that subscribe button right above. Takes literally 1 second, but it'll help me out tremendously. I got to go reaching over 1,000 subscribers immediately. So every subscribe hit helps me out. Definitely leave a like too, man. In the meantime, y'all keep blessing, y'all keep progressing. We out. Peace.